So that is 5 people. Thanks, Margarita.
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
Go ahead, start the recorder. We're gonna start the meeting. It's 7:40 now. We'll have to work with what we have. Good evening, everyone. My name is June Prasad. I like to call Chair Prasad. Would like to call the meeting to order. Having difficulties with my computer, so I'm on the phone. So bear with me if for any issues. Carol, can you do the roll call? Well,
No, go ahead. Do it the same way. Just have them introduce themselves.
yeah, well, it's only 5 people. All right, so I'm Chair Prasad. Can we have the next person introduce themselves since we only have a small attendance?
I'm Sean Mighton.
Welcome, Mr. Sean.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Agard, and representing All Nations and Pitton Sport Team this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Agard.
Marguerite.
Bree
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Marguerite. This is Bree DaCosta.
Okay, Marguerite Villante, board member, committee member.
Thank you, Miss Margarita. Thank you, Miss Bree.
Detective Skinner, 6-7 Precinct Community Affairs Office.
Welcome, Detective Skinner. That's all we have on the call. Is that correct? Is that everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so I can't really see my phone.
We have someone else.
Hi, good night. I'm sorry, I just got in.
Please identify yourself.
My name is Alexander Stewart. I recently joined the committee.
Okay. Alexander. We didn't hear your name, sir.
Oh, sorry, Alexander Stewart.
Okay. Carol, you got that?
Yes.
Oh. Welcome, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Read my report. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the chairperson's report. So I continue to, as we all see, building the membership of the Commerce Committee. It's, it's a task, but I think we can successfully get it done. My goal is also to get more business owners to join the committee. I also want to remind those who are actual members of the committee that, if you miss 3 consecutive meetings, you will be removed from the committee. Tonight, we have one of our community affairs officer, Detective Skinner with us, who will address us later. We will discuss enforcement, compliances, and safety issues regarding bars and restaurants. We also have a location for our networking breakfast. It would be at Woody's Restaurant on Clarkson Avenue. We'll discuss the date. Well, we're looking at March or April next year. Tonight, we have 5 applications to process. That ends my report. The next item is the approval of minutes. Unfortunately, we don't have a quorum, so we cannot approve any minutes. At this time, I will open the floor for Detective Skinner to address the committee. Detective Skinner, I know Community Affairs Pierre was invited to be a guest speaker, but he sent you instead, so.
Good evening, everyone. Detective Skinner, 6-7 Precinct Community Affairs Office. No, Officer Pierre works the earlier tour. He left about an hour ago. I usually work the late one.
Understood. Okay.
hope everyone's having a good night. Hope everyone's having a good week. I don't have much as far as any issues that to raise. One of the good news is just to let everyone know that, you know, crime has been down in the precinct. Thank God. Let's not talk too fast. You know, also, you know, one thing that we have seen is a rise in burglaries at certain commercial establishments, like construction sites, and new developments, and especially on top of like buildings, they're taking copper wire. So if you are, for example, let's say, you know, the owners of restaurants, if you are in an area or even just in general, and you see, you know, you see somebody with like equipment and look like they don't have like a Verizon truck or a construction company or something like that, and you think it's kind of suspicious going up to a building, because I know some restaurants, you know, you have buildings, I mean, apartments above your establishment, and the person looks kind of, you know, fishy, don't hesitate to call 911, because that's been something that's been happening of them stripping copper wires. And also too, holiday times are coming out. Try not to overcrowd your establishments. Just keep in mind, um, we're coming out of the pandemic, so people are still eager to be out and about. So just keep that in mind as well. Try not to overcrowd your establishments. Any issues that you guys have, you guys can also always call us. We have Sergeant Warren, who's our nightlife sergeant. His team does an excellent job of also doing like inspections at some of these locations. And just a couple holiday safety tips if anybody calls. Right now it's holiday times, so people are trying to solicit money and funds. Just keep in mind, just let people know, be on the lookout for those prank slash scam calls where they're asking for money or donations. That's about it I have so far as far as that. I mean, I don't know if you want to start getting into the locations that you asked us to run for
No,
incidents.
yeah, we don't need to get, because they have no incidents, so, yeah.
No, not yeah. None of the locations have any incidents.
Right. Do you mind putting your camera on? Is that an issue, or?
So my camera is a little messed up. So
Okay.
that's the reason why.
Right,
That's the
so-
reason why I'm yeah. I don't
That's-
have the other camera.
All right, I have a question. Let me see if I can get to my notes. So my concern or my question would be regarding the surges of event spaces that we have in the community that doesn't have liquor license. Is there any type of enforcement being done? Because I feel it's kind of unfair to the licensed establishment. I know a lot of people think that an event space does not require a license, but the law says that you are not allowed to serve, store, or sell alcohol in a commercial space without a license. So my main concern would be, are there any enforcement being done, by the 67 in this community regarding event space?
Yes, enforcement has always been done on these event spaces. Sergeant Warren is the nightlife sergeant, and we also have our special operations Lieutenant Myrtle. They actually go out and they actually inspect a lot of these locations that don't have licenses. The thing about it is we do enforce summonses. We do make arrests when need be, but it's something that we can't just shut down by ourselves. Enforcement is something that continues to happen, but again, it's something that we can't shut down by ourselves. For example, when they do a march operation with the sheriff's department, it takes a while before we can either what it's called nuisance and abate a place. It takes a while.
May I ask a question to follow up on that, please?
Yeah, is he finished? Let me finish first and then you ask your.
I'm sorry, I thought he finished. Sorry.
No. That's okay, Miss Margarita. Are you finished, Detective Skinner?
Miss Villant, she can go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Villant.
Yes, so regarding the inspections and arrests and stuff, we are still waiting to find out what happened with Lotus Lounge, because they have been operating consistently for a long time now without a license. And we were told at one point that there was an arrest made and summons is given. But the place needs to be shut down because it's operating illegally. So isn't the SLA supposed to get involved and you're supposed to go in there with them?
Well, SLA only does inspections with licensed establishments. This is what
Okay,
we
so,
do.
all right, so if they're not licensed, then who shuts the place down for not having a license? I'm not clear on what's going on because this has been going on a really long time now. So if the SLA doesn't get involved and you guys can't do anything, then they're gonna continuously operate without this license. And they're serving liquor without a license for over a year now.
Well, the Lotus Lounge, there's
They
many
don't have a
times.
license.
I understand, Miss Vigilante. Can I just finish saying what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Lotus Lounge, a lot of times it looks open and sometimes it's not open. The
It's
problem,
open. It's open because we hear loud music coming from there.
Miss Vigilante, can I just finish saying what I'm saying, please?
Yeah, sure.
There is a spot next to Lotus Lounge, which is a body shop / car spot that has been operating, and we've been going there and also doing enforcement to that location as well.
Across
So
the
what we
street,
thought-
across the
No,
street?
not across the street.
Right
It's
next to them? Okay, I got it.
It's right next door. So a lot of times when you see the lights on a Lotus Lounge, it may look like it's open, and when we do enforcement to go check to see, it's closed and it's coming from the other location.
And they're not connected in any way?
No,
Yes,
they're
they
not.
are, Miss Detective Skinner. They are connected.
Because we go in there and we can't
No.
find a way to get into that next location.
Yes, there's a door between Lotus Lounge and the body shop, unless they lock it up.
They probably lock it up because when we go
Yes.
in, we see the body shop. We go in from the front to see the body shop. Like actually,
Okay,
when you
because
go
the
in
part-
from the front.
I think the
Because
guy-
go ahead.
Sorry, Miss Margarita, the guy that rents, I mean, that's a perfect example of, you know what I'm talking about. The guy that rents the body shop is
Mhm.
actually the one that operates Lotus Lounge.
Right. So the thing
Okay.
is, like, when the nightlife team went to, and when we found out that they were having a party at the body shop, they got summonses for operating out of their business scope. They got summonses for overcrowding. They got summonses for not having a liquor license. Now, when these people go to court, you know, they go to when they get issued C summonses, they have to go to criminal court. If they pay the fine and the judge or whoever it does, you know, doesn't, you know, I don't know as far as that's out of our standard. Like we do the enforcement, that's out of our standard. As far as us trying to get a nuisance abated, it takes a while. We can't just nuisance abate a place. It takes a little while.
But that's been going on for over a year, so how long does it actually take?
We had a place on Clarkson Avenue that we nuisance and abated. It took us a while. It took us, I would say, maybe 2 to 3 years. It's not something the city would just give.
But I don't really understand because the SLA used to come in and get places closed down when they didn't have a license. I don't understand why they're not involved.
Yeah, we actually spoke to the SLA about this, and the SLA said they only go after places that have licenses.
Yeah, Miss Margarita, that is correct. The SLA cannot really just go into a place without a liquor license. If you have a liquor license, then they can enforce. So
But if you have a liquor license, then what is there to enforce? Because then you have a liquor license.
to make sure they're in compliance, and if
Yes,
they're
to make
not-
sure they're in
Yeah,
compliance,
but,
because there's
but
places that have.
is this something new? Because that's how we used to get places closed down before. If they didn't have a license, they'd get closed down by the SLA.
it might have been other agency, Mrs. Yeah, might have been other agencies close them down, but unless there's a situation that happened and the precinct gets involved, if the precinct gets involved and they bring them there, that's another scenario.
'Cause just for example, we actually did operations with Department of Buildings. And Department of Buildings will come, and Department of Buildings actually looked at some of these places and said, look, X, Y, and Z, you can't have this. And actually Department of Buildings has done enforcement as well too. So it's different agencies coming together to do the enforcement.
Okay, so how do we get all these agencies to come together and close them down? Because they're operating illegally, first of all, because if it's a body shop, they shouldn't be having a nightclub in there. So there's, I mean, how many, is there an egress? Is there, you know, there's a lot of problems as far as just having a club in a body shop. So why can't we put all these agencies together and go in there and shut them down? I don't understand it.
We have done
They're
operations.
operating, but they're operating every weekend. So I don't understand. This is every weekend for over a year. So there's got to be more that we can do here. Besides the fact that the music is very, very loud and the neighbors have been complaining, but that's another whole issue. I don't understand why this can't get resolved sooner than it doesn't seem like anything is happening.
And Detective Skinner, Miss Margarita is well aware because she lives in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I
So-
live a block away, so. Yeah.
So what she's saying is factual. I drive on there a few times and there's a parking issue as well, but that's not a major concern at the noise. And as she said, it's a his issue.
Well, they also block the street there and use that whole space for parking. It's a public street. They block it off and they use it for parking. That dead end street. So there's a lot of illegal activity involved in what they're doing. So I don't see why it can't be shut down immediately. There's a club and a body shop. There's someone, the Lotus Lounge is operating that. They shouldn't be. I don't understand.
Detective,
So what can we do? What can we do? There's got to be, we have to have a plan here to move forward somehow.
Yes. So the thing about it is this: if the police department goes there and we are issuing summons and are making arrests, we are doing our part by that.
Right.
Okay. So if we're doing our part and Department of Buildings doing our part, you know, it has to be a bigger entity to come in, whether it's the fire department or not. You know, I know and before they have done march operations, with it was Department of Buildings, Fire, us, and also Consumer Affairs, which we've done that also too. You
So
know,
with that establishment,
no,
No.
establishments in general. That's what I'm saying in general
right?
to
So
get them
how
shut
do we
down.
set this up to do it with that particular place?
Well, I would have to run this by my SOL because and the nightlife sergeant, because like I said, they constantly go in there and they constantly do enforcement.
So you
That's
go
how
there
we figured.
every
And that,
weekend? You go there every weekend?
we go there frequently, yeah, because we have a list of frequent places that we do inspections at.
So they must be making an awful lot of money because if you keep giving them summonses, they just keep paying the summonses. They don't care.
But at that point, Miss Maglante, that's out of that's I mean Miss Vigilante, that's out of our hands. If the judge decides to you know hit them whatever fine and they pay it, that's out of our hands.
Right.
That's a different story. That's
Right.
criminal court.
Right. So I just want to know what we can do going forward to get all
can
the
speak-
agencies together.
What I'll do is I'm gonna speak to my SOL and I'm gonna speak to my the nightlife sergeant and see what we can do about it. Do another location. I mean, not a location. Do another march operation. I'll see. But like I said, to have a nuisance and abate place, it's something. A nuisance and abatement. It's something that you just don't happen overnight. Like for example, there was a place on Ditmas, right? There was a place on Ditmas Avenue. There was a yard that they were having parties. Ditmas and Rockaway Parkway. We were able to shut that down quick because of the fact there was shootings there. We were able to shut that down quick because there were constant fights there. There were violence that was taking place there. So the thing about it is, if violence isn't taking place, I don't know if that's something that's the reason why it doesn't happen right away.
Well, it's only a matter of time. But yeah, so as soon, you know, the sooner we start, the better it is, right? So as soon as you can start talking to whoever needs to be talked to, that would be great. If you can get back to us and let us know what the plan is.
Will do.
Okay, great. Thank you.
are there any other questions for Detective Skinner? Adele, go ahead. I'm using my phone, so I got to keep switching back and forth. Go ahead, Miss Adele.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, we're hearing. Now we're hearing.
I was listening to this issue going on with that Lotus Lounge, and prior to the recent CO, it was shut down multiple times. And the SLA did help and work with the precinct. So I don't know what's going on either. I don't understand something changed in the laws. So can we get someone from the SLA come to the meeting?
No, they're not going to come to our meeting, Adele. They have a quarterly meeting for the licensed establishments. I mean, I'll try to invite them for the breakfast, but I doubt whether they'll be able to come because I've invited them before and they never came to the Commerce Committee meeting.
That's what I wanted to know.
But
And
I
you said,
I would definitely bring this issue up with the commanding Inspector Gab. Help me with, sorry, Gabby. I did bring it up to him before, and he told me he was working on it, but I haven't seen anything done. So
that's a shame. Because a lot of people live around that area.
of
And
course,
that prior that shootings, they had a lot of gunplay, they had a lot of things going on in that place. It was horrible.
and it's not a small place. It's a big
We
place.
don't have any shooting
Yes.
recorded with Lotus Lounge. That shooting that took place was with the Elbows.
The name, that's what the issue is. It's the address itself, they keep changing the name. That's what's been going on with it.
I'm talking about the other establishment, Adele, the one on the corner of
Yeah, Adele, you're talking about
you're talking about
Utica.
Utica Island Seas.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm also talking about that space just behind it. Oh,
Yeah, that's Lotus Lounge is next to the place you're talking about.
yeah, the one just behind it, because I saw them when they were setting it up last year. It looked like they put some kind of purple lights in there, and purple. I said, what the heck are they doing? They were.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Adele.
Yeah, yes, they were I saw them putting in the walls, and then I saw them bringing in liquor.
Well, Detective
Crazy.
Skinner, this is just a typical example of what I was saying about unlicensed establishment and a licensed establishment. Anything should happen at Lotus Lounge, the licensed establishment is going to get blamed for that because, it goes on their license, in all fairness. I'm sorry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a matter that needs to be addressed immediately. Okay?
The other thing is, excuse me, I'm sorry. Lotus Lounge actually advertises. I've seen, posters up that say bottle service or something like that. So they're actually advertising that they have liquor in there, even though they have no license.
Yeah, but again, our nightlife team, some of these events that they advertise, they have went in on those nights and done enforcement, confiscated liquor as well.
Well, that's good. That's good. But I think we're trying to work towards having them shut down permanently, if that's possible.
No, I hear. I understand what the ultimate goal is, and I totally understand that.
Okay, we have another question by Bree. Bree, go ahead. Sorry. Bree?
Sorry, I had to get myself off mute.
Okay.
Yes, this is Bree DeCosta. I was wanting to ask a question about the recent robbery, and I'm sorry I'm taking this off topic from Lotus Lounge, but the recent robbery at, Walgreens. Were there suspects apprehended, or was there any resolution to the robbery that happened on Church and Utica?
What day are you talking about?
It was on Halloween. It was 10/31.
Oh, they didn't get any leads because they had masks on, from my understanding. We're still working on that. They're working on the detective squads and looking at the video surveillance and stuff like that.
Okay. And I had one other additional question, just in reference to all of the smoke shops that have been popping up. And I, understand that there will be, people who receive licenses to sell marijuana. And so my question is, what kind of security will be in place or will be required for places like this, in order to keep the community safe from any potential, robberies or anything that could transpire because of the paraphernalia that they are selling? Well,
with the smoke shops, not everyone is supposed to be getting a license. Like apparently, Right now, the police department, we do inspections right now with along with the sheriffs. But the thing about it is that no one's supposed to be selling marijuana. So the thing about it is no one has licenses yet. So what we're seeing is that everyone's opened up smoke shops, but it seems from what it looks like is they're opening under a smoke shop name. So in hopes of when the licenses are distributed, they already have their I guess their name or their business already established. However, they're saying smoke shops, but they're selling stuff like tobacco and hookah and stuff like that. However, if they are selling marijuana, that's definitely enforceable. Because the sheriffs have been doing operations, and we also have been doing operations about that as well. As far as security wise, there's nothing play as far as what type of security. The city hasn't said anything to that nature of that.
And Ms. Bree, just to inform you, before they get the marijuana license, cannabis license, they have to come before our committee, the same Commerce Committee. So we haven't started distributing any license. Well, not us, but the agency that deals with that. So each they.
Okay, thank you so much, both.
Very welcome.
Because even though it's legal, you still can't sell it.
I'm happy to know that you guys are enforcing, going around and doing enforcement on that as well. It's a good one. Okay, and if there are no other questions, for Detective Skinner, we'll move on. Okay, hearing or seeing none. Detective Skinner, you can stay on the call. You don't have to leave. It might be some issues later. Who knows, right? So if you're representing a liquor establishment or you're representing yourself, please turn your cameras on. Thank you, Mr. Agard. Mr. Sean, your application is the first one on the agenda. Okay, I'll proceed with Mr. Agard and I'll come back to 1308 because his camera is not on. So, Mr. Agard, All Nation.
Yes.
One
Yes.
second.
Good evening, Chairperson June, and to all the other members. My name is Patrick Agard, and representing this evening All Nations Restaurant and Lounge, located at 1019 Utica Avenue. That's right on the corner of Tilden. The establishment has been in business since 2002, and they are just doing the standard every 2 years they have to renew, and they are here before us again. She's been pretty much closed during most of the last 2 years. She has opened up and done some events, small events on weekends, and she's looking to get back to operating, more fully as they were doing prior to the pandemic. If there's any questions, I can entertain, answer any questions that you have.
How long did you say she was in business? Sorry, Mr. Agard.
Since the original application was issued in 2002.
So that's 20 years, correct?
20 years, yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to be sure.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? And this is a renew application. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the next applicant. Mr. Agard, since you're on the floor, let me just, the next.
Excuse me, Ms. Broussard, you said there are no incidents for any of the,
Oh, no, there's no incident for any, I didn't read it, my apologies. There's no incidents for none of the applicants.
okay.
Can we move on to the next applicant?
Okay.
The next applicant is, hold on, Mr. Agard. It's Pitton Sports Team, which is located at 502 East 95th Street, Brooklyn, New York. That is also a renewal. It's a full liquor license. Mr. Agard, the floor is open to you.
Okay. Thank you once again. Pitton Sport Team, they're as Ms. June had said, 502 East 95th Street. That's between Church and Wilmore. And they've been in business since 2008 is when they received their initial application. So another place that's been in business for a while. And they're just looking to renew. And as we've heard, they've had no incidences there. And it's a family-run business. The father, Mr. Orton George, had started it, and he continues to be a part of it. And his son, Garth, and his other sister are managers on the of the place as well. And they're listed and on file with the State Liquor Authority as managers.
Are there any questions? Like I stated, there's no incident on this application. It's a renewal. I have to turn my phone to see if any hands are up. Ms. Margarita, do you have any questions?
I think Miss Adele does, I think.
No, yeah, Adele has her hand up.
Sorry. Adele,
I just want to know the size of that business.
I beg your pardon, can you repeat the question?
Size and how many people does it accommodate? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's not coming through very clear. It's muffled.
Yeah, she wants to know the size of the establishment.
Oh, Pitton, it's a small place. I'd have to say it's probably about 1,200 square feet. And he has maybe about 20 seats inside. And they have a limited menu. They're more on the lounge side of the business. But they have a small little small little crowd that comes to them, and they've been pretty much been doing that for the last few years. But they're in compliance with the Department of Health and with the Fire Department and with the Building Department as well.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing and seeing none, Mr. Agard, we'll see you tomorrow night at the general board meeting.
At the hospital?
Yeah.
The usual place. Okay.
Right, exactly.
Very good.
Right.
Excuse me, I do have one question.
Sure.
One more question. Mr. Agard, are the business owners going to be there tomorrow?
No, they usually they don't come out when I represent them. But you know.
Yeah, it's just always nice to see the actual business owners.
Yeah, you know what? I think what I'm going to encourage them to do is from here on in, probably for the Commerce Committee meetings, have them come in on that one. And it's only because that the general meeting, unless there's issues to be solved, they are very long and they're open at night. And these are small places.
Yeah,
where
right.
the owners
I
are there,
understand.
so-
But if they could come to the commerce meetings, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, and especially if we do them virtually, yeah, I will do that for next time, have them do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Is there a representative for Footprints on the call?
Yeah, good night. Good night. I'm on the phone, Robert Gordon. I'm the owner. Good night, Community Board 17. Patrick and Joan.
Give me a minute, Robert. I have to go back to Mr. Gordon. I have to go back to Mr. Sean, who has been on the call. He just had to put his camera on. 1 minute. Okay. This application is the first application on the agenda. It says Sean Mayton. Is that how you pronounce your name, sir?
Maiton.
Maiton. Thanks for the correction. 1308 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. This is for a new application. It's for a full wine and beer license. I have a couple of questions, sir.
Sure.
So, Sean Mayton, I see you don't have a trade name. Do you have a name that you're going to be using for the business? A DBA name?
Yes, I was going to name it Legacy Lounge.
Well, sir, you would have had to put that on the application.
Okay.
Secondly, applying for a what you call it, a temporary permit?
Yes.
where you would have had to put that on the application as well. It's not on the application.
Okay.
This application was designed, was changed actually in January by the SLA, so that, because the purpose of this is for you to inform the community board that you're applying for a temporary license as well.
Okay.
Okay. This
So
location.
when would I be
Well,
able
one
to?
second, sir. Let me finish with my questions and then
No
you.
problem. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Line 16, it says here, application establishment is on. Can somebody please put their phone on mute where that noise is coming from? Yes, it says your establishment is on the first floor. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, I am very familiar with that location, sir. There's 2 floors to that location. There's
Yes.
also 2 bars in that establishment. Will you
Well,
be?
I'll be deaf. The second bar will be dismantled, and it will be like a lounge, and only one bar will be in the establishment.
Interesting. When you say dismantled, so in order for you to do any kind of, well, it's not a licensed establishment now. So you're just going to be using the bar on the first floor. That's what you're saying?
Correct.
Because, you know, the SLA has this on file that this location has 2 bars.
Right, but I'm not. The way how it's set up, the second bar only takes space up, which it's not necessary because it's one building. So
Okay.
you'd have in order for somebody would order, you would have a sit down. Whatever they order, the food would come to them.
Okay, says 1 bar. Also, there's one last question here. It says that your premise is 500 feet. There's a question 18. It says that your location is 500 feet from 3 or more establishment, and you put no. Are you aware that you are within 500 feet of 3 locations?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Okay, so I'm just going to make you aware of it. So it's Bamboo Walk, D Garden, and Tropical Breeze. Those are the 3 locations that you are within 500 feet.
Okay.
So I would, I'm just going to open the floor up to the members if they have any other questions, and then I'll just tell you what my findings are. The floor is open for any questions for Mr. Sean?
Hi, yeah, it's Marguerite. So there's a business there now that's operating on 2 floors as a.
No, the building is closed. There's nothing going on there right now.
There used to be a licensed establishment, Ragtop, Miss Margaret.
Yes.
Oh, Ragtop. Okay, yeah, right.
Okay.
So you're not going to be operating on 2 floors, or you're going to be operating on 2 floors with just
Just one bar. Yes.
but you're going to be operating on both floors.
Correct.
So then your application is incorrect because you only said first floor.
Yeah,
No,
if you're
I
going to be
thought it was.
operating on both.
When I said the first floor, I was referring to the bar being on the first
No,
floor.
no, it says the building where the establishment will be located on.
Okay.
Go ahead, Miss Margaret.
You have to be clear about that, otherwise.
My apology.
Yeah. Okay, so I just have a couple other questions. So this is going to be a nightclub? What
So
is it?
more lounge, sit down, eat, food.
No, but you have a sound system, live music. What do you
Yeah,
have?
you're gonna have music, but it's
Yeah, because I know Ragtop was very loud, and I also live a block away from there, so you know, I don't know what their soundproofing was, but it was very loud when they were doing business. So are you going to update the sound system, the
most definitely.
soundproofing?
Yes.
Okay. And how many people does that hold, the place?
I know it's less than 100 on both floors.
Do you know
So around 200 total?
I
Or
wouldn't
less
say
than 100?
not 200. It's not that much capacity. One floor, I think, has like 101 or something to that effect, and the other floor is less than 100. So it's not even close. It's not 200.
Okay, and what are your hours of operation gonna be?
By say till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Okay, and that's every day?
No, during the week you close like 11, 12.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions?
Yes.
Go ahead, Adele.
I'd like to know, is he gonna have any outside music or backyard music
No,
or usage?
no.
Because their home is good behind that building.
Yeah, I realize there are residents behind the building, so that would be inconsiderate to have loud music in the neighbor in the.
And so the hours of operation are,
He just told us.
and I couldn't hear it too well.
Well, during the week by 11, 12 o'clock, and on the weekends by 2 o'clock.
Okay. What about parking? I know there's no parking. There's very limited parking in that area.
Understood. I I don't see a parking lot there, so I guess I have to
No.
park and walk.
Park legally and walk, yes.
And then I
definitely.
would try to encourage not really much parking, driving there. You know, I would try to encourage to take a Uber or something. If you're going to have alcohol, why would you want to look parking?
Because some people don't pay that rule any attention.
Well, I would have to take that into account and make sure that is enforced because I wouldn't want anybody to cause me to get in trouble.
Yes. Oh, all right, thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other hand. Mr. Sean,
Yes.
oh, boy, where did I go? Okay. Yeah, so as the chair of the Commerce Committee, and I have to sign the letter sending to the SLA, I am not very comfortable with all the discrepancy on this application. I am suggesting that, for example, the DBA name is not on it. You didn't state whether you have a temporary retail, whether you're going to get that. There, it's stated here that the first floor, the establishment is going to be on the first floor and it's actually going to be on both floors. Also, the 500-foot rule. I would suggest to you that you resubmit this application because whatever is submitted to the community board is what has to be submitted to the SLA. And this is inaccurate.
I got you.
All right. And in all fairness, because you're going to get rejected with the discrepancy that's on here. Okay. Also, is that second bar dismantled already or is it to be? Because I'm not comfortable with that because.
Well, I did not get any go ahead to start anything as yet for me to start dismantling, and I don't know if I get the approval.
Okay, yeah, because we had another applicant that came to us last year with this, the same location. She was renting the space and she was told that the other bar was a service bar and it was not. And the general board actually sent her back to this, to come back before the board with with getting the second bar, and she never came back. So to be, I need to be clear because the SLA is going to look at the previous record that this location had 2 bars.
Right.
Understood?
Gotcha.
Right. So that would be my recommendation, and I think it's a fair one that because this application there's a lot of it's not just one deficiency. Okay. So I would recommend that you resubmit this for next month's meeting.
Okay.
And fix the issues that need to be fixed. You have to have a DBA name because you're not going to have Sean Milton on your awning as the name of the bar, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. Members, do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Milton. You're welcome to stay on till the rest of the meeting.
Okay.
Okay. The next applicant is Footprints Cafe located at 5814 Clarendon Road. Can you please turn your camera on if you're doing a presentation for us? Brooklyn, New York, 11203. This is a renewal. It's for a full wine and beer license. Mr. Gordon, are you there?
Yes, good evening, Community Board 17 and all the members. I'm not sure if I have a camera option because I called in.
Okay.
But if you need for me to call, to hang up and call back in with it.
That's quite okay, because we know you're a busy guy, and normally we ask the presenter to, you know, put their cameras on, but if you're called in, it's not able to do that. So this application doesn't have any incident according to the police report, and they've been in business 20 years now, Mr. Bobby?
21 is going to be 22 in January.
Okay.
Willing.
All right, so if there's anything you want to tell us, or if there's any questions by anyone in the room, feel free.
Just want to say it's been a pleasure serving our community for almost 22 years. We employ over 100 people. We are a restaurant and bar, but 90% of our revenue is from food, and we do around 10%, alcohol sales. My number is available to most people in the community. If there's ever an issue with anything we do operational wise from a day to day, it'd be my pleasure to leave my number. I encourage anybody in the community to give me a call, and I'm always eager to fix any issues that may arise.
I know I have your number on speed dial, so.
Okay.
I'm going to open the floor up for any questions for Mr. Gordon. Yes, you have a good record in the community. No questions for you.
Thank you.
Check the chat.
Okay, go ahead, Adele.
No, I've been by there several times, especially during the summer, and I had a time trying to get through that area that they block off on the sidewalk. I want to know, why do they do that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat for me a little bit? I heard something about sidewalk or sideway.
When you try to walk down there, a lot of the kids go through there after school, and they like to pull stuff down. You see them doing it. Why do they block off such a large area on the sidewalk? They only leave one flag open.
Well, we do have both sides. I believe the walkway space is around 4.5 feet or 5 for pedestrians. I have to double check it. But when we're doing any setup there, because we're one of the few places that were licensed for sidewalk pre-pandemic. So, we try to comply with all the regulations. But I believe there's either 4 or 5 foot walkway space there for pedestrians to walk by as regulation permits, I believe. But if there's anything, if I need to make an adjustment, and come in an extra foot, it's not a problem.
Because it seems more like 3 feet. It's kind of tight.
Okay.
Well, we try to comply with the regulations on there, but I'll revisit it again, and see if there's anything that may have shifted or moved, and I'll go back again and try. We do have both spaces. We have the roadway and we do have the sidewalk. So I know the appearance is very tight there, and I'll make any adjustments that's necessary.
I think that's. Any other questions? Hearing none. Mr. Gordon, you're aware of the meeting tomorrow at the Downstate Hospital. I will see you then. Is that correct?
Yeah, no problem. All right, thank you very much. All right.
Not a problem. You're
Good night, Community Board 17. Let's stay on. I don't know if there's unfinished business. I'll be on the rest of the meeting also.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, moving the agenda along, we have unfinished business. I'd like to discuss, like I said earlier, for those who joined late, we do have a location for our networking breakfast, which is in, I'm looking at April or March or April. I'm open to suggestions from the community. Also, I want to run that by the owner of the establishments. It's a place called Woody's Restaurant. It's located on Clarkson Avenue. He has volunteered his establishment for the breakfast. Do you guys think March or April would be a better time? Which month do you think would be a better time for that event?
April. It's
April?
warmer. It's warmer.
That's what I thought myself too. Okay, and I'm thinking 10 to 1. Is that a good time?
10 a.m. to 1?
Not too early. Or 9:30. Let's say 9:30. 9:30 to 12:30.
Ms. Prasad, Ms. Prasad, this is Bree DaCosta. What day is it going to be on?
Okay, it's going to be a weekday. Yes.
A weekday.
We haven't decided on the day. Have to coordinate it with the owner as to which day is, because he's given us his place, for free.
Got it.
Then
a Monday would be nice.
I'm sorry, hon?
I said maybe a Monday would be nice.
I didn't hear you, Miss Adele.
A Monday.
A Monday?
Yeah, right after the weekend.
I was thinking either Monday or Tuesday. Monday sometimes is so busy for a lot of business. I'm trying to gear to the business owners as well for them to come. So yeah. So Monday, I'm looking at
10, maybe like 10:30 to like 1:30.
I don't want to carry it too late. It's a breakfast, so I was thinking 10. Yeah, either 9:30 to 12:30 or 10 to 1.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, because we'll at 10:30 we're going to show up till you know how that goes.
Give people a chance to wake up.
Exactly. All right. So at least we have a tentative date in April. I'm going to work on the date. By the next meeting, I should have a date for you, and then we're going to start working on the flyers, and then we're going to start working on the food. Well, we have a location, and then we're going to start working on the guest speakers, and if you have any suggestions as to what guest speaker we should invite, feel free to share that information. I don't believe in last minute planning, so I want to start early since,
Oh, I got a question. What is Woody's?
It's a restaurant. It's a new restaurant in our community. It's a bar and restaurant.
Okay, never heard of it. Where are they located? I gotta check them out.
50, I think it's 1130. Oh, no, the address on me. I'm using my phone, so let me see if I could find the address. Thought I had it. Okay, it's 1133-35 Clarkson Avenue. It's a very
That's in our community board?
It's in our community board, yes.
I don't remember them coming for a license.
Yes, they did like 3-4 years ago. That's how long.
It's funny. I don't remember.
Yeah, before.
It's just I don't have a good memory.
Yeah, that was before COVID. Yes. He opened, I think, a couple months ago. Because, you got caught in between COVID and things like that. All right. And then, of course, the sumptuous sample, we will do that in June. That I will have to get a location. I have a location in mind, but I have to speak with the owner first. And we're going to work on a day as well for that. Okay. So I'm going to open up the floor.
Ms. Prasad, can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
Should we possibly come up with a new name for that?
Well, that's the community board's name. This is with some sample, so I have to go with the guidelines of the community board. It was done under the Commerce Committee.
Yeah, because we still have. Go ahead.
I said that's what I was told. I'm just following instructions here.
Okay, because there's still a Facebook page up with the sumptuous sampler page, but it's it's not really connected with commerce anymore. So
Well, it's not about anymore because anything that's done under the Commerce Committee is supposed to be remain under the Commerce Committee. If the other party needs to change their name, they should change it because this was established under the Commerce Committee. That's what I was told.
So, yeah, I don't know if somebody should look into that, or maybe it's not, maybe it's not a big deal, but it could be confusing.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. All right. I will mention it to the chair and let him take it from there.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any? The floor is open to any other comments, questions, or any unfinished business that we may have. Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Alex Stewart.
Hi, good night, everybody. So, as I said before, I am a new member, and I would like to know what my duties can be for the committee board.
So, well, you're a committee member. So there's a community board, and then there's a commit. There's several committees within the board. You are a member of the Commerce Committee.
Right.
Your main goals is actually to attend the meetings and to help participate in whatever activities the Commerce Committee is doing.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Was there another hand up? Bobby, did you have your hands up? I'm not sure.
It was
No, I
me,
did
but
not.
that was an accident. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That was Bree DaCosta.
No problem, Bree. Sorry about that. I see we have Mr. Dixon also on the call. John Dixon, can you just introduce yourself? Are you there? I see you on the call. Okay, maybe he doing something else. All right. If there's no other business, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting, Marguerite.
May I
Adele
have a
Bennett, second.
Adele second? Guys, have a pleasant evening to all, and thank you for for spending your time on the call, because I know we all have busy schedule. I want to beg you or ask you to invite a friend or someone to join the Commerce Committee. We're still building our committee members. I also want to focus a lot on the business owners, try to get them involved to come to the meeting, not just only when they have their liquor license application, but to be a member of the Commerce Committee. They have busy schedules. All right. Okay. And for those who I'll see,
Night.
have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Carol, stay on the call, please.
I'm here.
I know you are. Okay, my phone is gonna die shortly. Can you send me a copy of the what you call it, the agenda, the one that has footprints application on it?
That's the one I sent to you.
No, I don't. I saw the one. I only have the one with
Hold on.
Yeah, you can send it to me now. I can print it. Sorry, my phone is gonna die too. Jerry's still on the call, but I think he might have just put it on and I think it was a nice meeting. What do you think?
I think so. It's very
Yeah.
good. Hey, let me see.
Rudy wanted to join the call, but he's texting me telling me to send the stuff on WhatsApp, and I'm like, I can't do that. I'm on my phone. I send it to email. Come on, don't do it. I can't wait when I'm on the meeting. Ask me to send you the link. Maybe someone needs to send him the link for every meeting so he don't ask, people when they're on the meeting.
Let me see. Let me make sure this is the one.
So tonight we had 5 members. So Mr.
Okay.
Jerry wants to join the Commerce Committee. This guy that's on the call. He never received. I told him to send you a request, and So did you do the agenda? So let me see who and who we have to
Okay,
remove.
wait, let me ask you. Okay, on this agenda, I'm just gonna send you the one without the presenter because I have one that has Mark on it.
That's fine. Yeah, that's a send, but once it has footprints on it, I want it to.
Yeah, that's the one I'm getting ready to send you.
Right. So, hey, where's Ruby tonight? So, there's a couple people. Did you do the road call? Like for those who were on the call tonight?
Yes, I did. I have it.
All right. So this, you want to do this now or you want to do
Okay.
this later? We can see who we're gonna remove. Because
I'll do it and send it to you in the morning because there's only 5 people that, well, 4.
exactly. That's fine.
You, Marguerite,
yeah.
Bree. Okay, it's 5 of y'all that showed up. So everybody else is considered absent.
Right, but there's a couple who were on before. So like, for example, so I know for sure Alison Martinez is gonna be removed because she's not on the she hasn't been to any of those, the last 3 meetings.
Yeah, because this is the 3rd one. I'm gonna send this to you
Right,
again
let's-
under the
Yeah, good. Send it to
58.
me and then tomorrow or sometime we could go through it or before the next meeting. Fair enough?
Okay,
Yes.
that's not a
Hi,
problem.
Yeah,
hi
so you can
June.
have or hello?
This is Jerry. Just want to let you know that I'd like to that I've been on a call, so I guess I have to apply for an application.
Yeah, so the meeting is over, but Carol is on the call with me. I
Right.
was trying to get you to speak, but you didn't hear. I don't know if you heard.
Yes,
You
I
heard
know.
right. Okay.
He
Someone that I had to go to the door for a
can
minute.
contact Sharif and she can send him the updated one because I know she's added some stuff to it.
Oh, she
But
had
if
the
he can
updated
call
one?
the office, right? If he can
Right.
just call the office, she'll send it to him.
He told me he called 2-3 times and he hasn't been able to to reach anyone.
Well,
So
tomorrow, if he can call, well, she's probably going to work from home.
I just want to get Jerry on
Jerry,
the meeting.
Yes, John Dixon.
give me your email. Put
Yes.
your email in the chat.
Oh, I have his email. Jerry,
Yeah, you can
give it to her. All right.
Yeah.
Let me give it to you right now, Jerry.
No, I'll send. See the form I have. I don't know if Sharif updated it.
It don't matter, Carol. Just send him the old form. That way he could
Okay, no
he
problem.
he could join. I'm looking to grow my committee. So Dixon, 1 second. Jerry, where's your because I told him to come to the meeting tonight because he's been waiting for this form about 2 meetings ago. All right, so his email is jgd914@gmail.com.
Well, hold up. Wait, you said JGB?
JGD, as in David,
Okay.
914@gmail.com.
Okay, I have George Great David.
You got it.
No. John George David.
John?
J.
Oh yeah,
J.
J as in J John
Okay.
George David.
Hold on. JGD
Right.
914@gmail.
Yeah.
.com.
Okay.
All right, you got it. So Jerry, you can log off now. She's gonna send
Okay.
send you
All
the
right.
form tomorrow. Thank you for
Okay.
joining. Appreciate you. Okay.
All right, no problem.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
914@gmail. Okay. I'll send it to him right now.
Thank you very much.
So tomorrow I'll update the attendance sheet and I'll send that to you.
You're the best. Oh, did you send me the new agenda?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
It's under the footprints address at the top.
no problem. Let me just look for it
Let me
and
see.
print it out because I like to attach it with my documents.
Okay. Committee member application. Here we go.
Okay, I see it.
Just make sure.
Mhm. Brent.
Commerce.
I mean, I don't like, I don't trust what that guy said, but they're gonna dismantle that bar.
But you know what? I had asked him before you had came on the call because I noticed that he doesn't have a name up there.
Yeah.
I asked him what was the name, and he
What
said
name
he
is
hadn't
this?
posted
Yeah.
it. So when I
Mhm.
sent out the information for the to the general board meeting, I didn't include him. And I
Oh,
forgot to put you and Sharif on there because there's no sense in him coming there because the application, like you said, they're not going to approve it
no, it's
because
not.
there's too much missing.
I think I was fair.
No,
Totally.
you were right
Yeah.
because you
It's just,
can't.
and it's not like it's one in stuff he has wrong. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
It's a whole bunch because first of all, you have no name. All you
Mm.
have is you put the address where the name should have been. And he said, well, that's not going to be the name. They're going to change it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. No, you got to fill this form wrong because this form is
You
what.
fill it out wrong and they'll send it right back.
Yeah, you have to send a copy of this to the SLA and it has to be correct. I ain't playing child. Meaning if I have to sign my name on stuff, it has to be in the right place.
They would discard it because
They
it's
would-
not correct.
Yeah, and that specific location, Carol, because that location has a lot of what you call it, previous issues. So
Yes.
we know what the deal is. Yeah.